We're continuing our study on the family from Simpsonville, South Carolina. A mother watched her young son, Tommy, as he misbehaved, and as they had been planning to go have a family outing. The mother turned to the father in front of Tommy and said, "Do you think we should take Tommy to the zoo?" The father said, "Absolutely not. Let them come for him." Psalm 127 verse 3 says, "Behold, children are a gift from the Lord, fruit of the womb and a reward." Proverbs 17:6 says, "Grandchildren are the crown of older men, and the son is their father." Glory of the Father. Why are there so many dysfunctional families then? If children are a gift from the Lord, the fruit of the womb, and a reward, and if grandchildren are a crown of old men and their sons the glory, why are there so many dysfunctional families? Well, I think we need to take a look at the Bible and see what the Bible says. If we go back to the Old Testament, to 1 Samuel, chapters 1 through chapter 2:29, we see Eli raising two sons. And we see some bad, serious problems with Eli's parenting style. First of all, he doesn't give enough discipline. It's very clear in chapter 2, verses 29, chapter 2, verses 22 through 25. Eli lacks the discipline that a father has to have. Secondly, we see that there's not enough spiritual leadership. Even though Eli was a priest, he didn't teach his children how to be priests. Chapter 2, verse 12. What was the result? Well, number one, it brought shame to Eli. And number two, they all died early. The next situation we want to look at is the story of the prodigal son. You'll find it in Luke chapter 15, verses 11 and following. Here we have a good father, but we have a son who has free will. The father was obviously a good example. The father was obviously loving and kind, disciplined. There's no indication that the father was like Eli. And yet the son still rebelled and went off on a great distance, squandered his money on wine, women, and song. But unlike Eli's sons, this son returned. This son was repentant because he knew the right things to do. And only when he reached the bottom did he see that he needed to return. Let's take a third look. This one is in the New Testament as well. It's Elizabeth and Zacharias. We have a son born in very late age, John the Baptist. You'll find the story in Luke chapter 1, verses 6 and following. But mostly in verse 6, we see that the parents were righteous parents. There's no question in my mind that these parents used parenting skills that were good. And God had put his hand on John besides. And the result was the praise of Jesus. He said, "There's no one greater than John the Baptist." So what are parents to do? 2 Timothy 1:5 says they need to be an example. Ephesians 6 verse 4 says they need to be disciplined and instructing their children. Proverbs 4:3 and 4 says we need to train them. Proverbs 22:6 says that we need to be training them as they grow up. And 1 Thessalonians 5:47 says that we're to pray for them without ceasing. Yeah, good parenting style is a hard thing to do, but it's a necessary thing to do if we want our children to come out all right. And even if they rebel because they have their own free will, if we've put a proper base in them, they'll return. They'll return to the ways they know are right, righteous, and godly. That's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.